good morning to everyone.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Right, thank you for joining us today, especially our shareholders, Mr. Alif and our representative from Maybank, Mr. Ihsan. I am delighted to welcome all of you here to our meeting at Google Meet since we had to work from home because of COVID-19. It's a great honor and at the same time a good responsibility to lead Adidas in my role as CEO. First of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Aiman bin Muhammad Yusuf, CEO of Adidas AG Company. So, all of you can introduce yourself. Start from Financial Manager 1.
Okay, my name is Ammir I be the Financial Manager 1.
My name is Nur Amir Shahidin bin Aminuddin. Me as Financial Manager 2.
My name is Muhammad Daniel Farhan bin Jasmadi and I am Financial Manager 3.
My name is Muhammad Nur Ihsan bin Jeffrey. My role is Financial Institution.
My name is Muhammad Liman Azri. I'm the company shareholder.
Alright, thank you to all of you. The objective of our meeting is to show our capability to pay back the loan that we applied from Maybank. The draft of the minutes has been distributed for your review. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Here none, the minutes are approved as presented. Can we start with our Financial Manager 1? Mr. Ammir, please present your financial statement.
Yes. Okay, yes, I will represent my table. Wait for the minute. Okay. Yes, I will show you the Adidas company ratio analysis. For the liquidity ratio, we increased in the 2020 than the 2019. Firstly, we look at the current ratio. It increased by 0.13 by 2020-2019 compared with the 2019. Adidas had performed well in the term of liquidity because has the better ability to pay off in the short term debt in the 2020 compared to the 2019. For the quick ratio, we look here, we increased 0.10 times, and Adidas owns more asset that can be quickly converted into the cash in 2020 compared to 2019. Okay, nextly for the net working capital, we get a good result for 2020 because Adidas has more financial resource to meet all of its short-term financial obligation in 2020 compared to the 2019. Nextly, for the efficiency ratio, for the average collection period, Adidas also efficient in the account receivable in the short-term period because it take less day in 2020 rather than 2019. And for the inventory turnover, Adidas has become less efficient at the generating sales, and it may affect the inventory turnover for the 2020 compared to the 2019. Okay, moreover, for the fixed asset turnover, Adidas is less productive at the generating sale from its current fixed asset in the 2020 than it was in the 2019. And finally, for the total asset turnover, or we call it TATO, in the year 2020, Adidas not perform well for the TATO because it is less efficient in the managing the total asset to generate the sales due to the less tattoo compared to the 2019. That's all for me.
Mr. Ammir,
Yes.
can I ask you something?
Yes,
Why
absolutely.
the performance in 2020 is drop?
I think because of the COVID-19 hit us, the sale cannot do in the store. So the online selling cannot cover the physical store selling.
All right. Thank you.
Alright, thank you, Mr. Ammir, for his presentation about our performance company. In order not to waste any time, I will let Encik Nur Amirul Shahidin to present about comparative analysis between our company, Adidas AG company, and our big rival, Nike company.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Aiman. Now, I want to present comparative analysis Adidas AG company and Nike company ratio analysis and summary for year 2020. First, we have liquidity ratio. In liquidity ratio, we have three components, which is current ratio, quick ratio, and net working capital. Okay, current ratio. In current ratio for Adidas company, the value is 1.38 times. For Nike company is 2.48 times. Nike has better ability to pay off its short-term debts in 2020 compared to Adidas. Quick ratio, the value for Adidas is 0.88 times and Nike company 1.59 times. In this case, Nike owns more asset that can be quickly converted into cash in 2020 compared to Adidas. Last, for liquidity ratio, we have net working capital. For Adidas AG company, the value is RM3327 million and Nike company RM12272 million. Okay, Nike has the immensely better financial resources to meet all of its short-term financial obligations in 2020 compared to Adidas. Next, we have leverage ratio. In leverage ratio, we have three components, which is debt ratio, debt to equity ratio, time interest earned. For debt ratio, the value of Adidas is 19% and Nike 31%. For this, debt ratio for Adidas in 2020 is 19% better compared to debt ratio for Nike in 2020, which is 31%. Besides, we have debt to equity ratio. For Adidas value is 1.32 times and for Nike we have 1.03 times, which is good for Adidas, and debt to equity for Adidas in 2020 is 1.32 times better compared to debt to equity for Nike. Last, time interest earned. The value of Adidas is 42.82 times and Nike 0 times, which is good for Adidas. Time interest earned for Adidas in 2020 is 42.82 times better compared to time interest earned for Nike in 2020. Next, we have efficiency ratio. In this part, we have four components, which is average collection period, inventory turnover, fixed asset turnover, total asset turnover. For average collection period, Adidas value is 35.7 days and for Nike 26.5 days. It is good for Adidas because Nike takes more time to receive payment by its client in 2020 compared to Adidas in 2020. Besides, inventory turnover. The value for Adidas is 2.27 times compared to Nike 2.87 times. Adidas has become less effective at generating sales from its inventory in 2020 compared to Nike in 2020. Moreover, we have fixed asset turnover. For Adidas, the value is 2.23 times compared to Nike 3.47 times. Adidas has become less effective at generating sales from its existing fixed assets in 2020 compared to Nike. And the last one, total asset turnover. For Adidas value, we have 0.94 times and Nike 1.19 times. Nike is using its asset effectively to generate sales in 2020 compared to Adidas. Okay, I would like to invite Mr. Daniel Farhan to take over the presentation.
Thank you to Mr. Amirul for the presentation. So I will continue his presentation for profitability ratios. I have a good news for our shareholders. So Mr. Alif, please pay attention. Okay. There are 5 components in this profitability ratio. First, gross profit margin. Second, operating profit margin. Net profit margin, return on asset, and lastly, return on equity. These 5 components, our company is made a great performance, which we are leading from Nike company. Okay. For gross profit margin, Adidas has better compared to Nike. Okay. Operating profit margin for Adidas in 2020 is better compared to Nike, which is 35.4% for Adidas and 8.33% for Nike. Next, net profit margin. Adidas got 30.9% while Nike just 0.32%. So Adidas is higher than Nike. For second last, return on asset. Adidas again on the top, leaving Nike behind in return on asset and return on equity. So that's all for profitability ratios. I will ask Aiman to continue this discussion. Thank you.
Before we continue to our local bank, which is Maybank, I would like to tell you guys why we choose to appeal for a loan. Firstly, we apply for this loan because our company is facing a shortage amount of money to prepare for the sponsorship for the upcoming big football tournament, which is FIFA World Cup 2022 at Qatar. So as the preparation for the sponsorship, we need to make a loan from Maybank, because if there are case of emergency case during the tournament have been held, we do not want to face a loss to our company for a long journey for the future. So this loan is for a preparation. So next, I will let our final institution representative, which is Mr. Nur Ihsan, to present about his idea about the loan application. Right, Mr. Ihsan?
So thank you for Mr. Muhammad Aiman. So I'm going to start with my bank. So my bank, which total asset of $165 billion, my bank is one of the top 5 banks in Southeast Asia. It employs 45,000 people and has a global network of over 2,400 branches and offices in 20 countries. Maybank was founded in 1916 and is now the largest firm on the Malaysian Stock Exchange by market capitalization, Bursa Malaysia. It is ranked number 1 among Malaysian listed firms and among the top 500 companies in the Forbes Global 2000 ranking of the world leading companies. Next, commercial banking, investment banking, Islamic banking, offshore banking, leasing and hire purchase, insurance, factoring, trustee service, assets management, stock broking, nominee service, venture capital and internet banking are among the goods and service offered by the Maybank Group. The organization established a clear code of ethics and behaviors. Dah mula dah. So for the core value, we believe in the core tiger value. Teamwork. We work together as a team based on mutual respect and dignity. Integrity. We are honest, professional, and ethical in our dealing. Growth. We are passionate and constant improvement and innovation. Excellence and efficiency. We are committed to delivering outstanding performance and superior service. Relationship building. We continuously with long-term and mutually beneficial partnership. So next, code of ethic. Maybank has a responsibility to protect integrity and credibility as a custodian of public funds. The organization establishes a clear code of ethic and behavior for its employees based on this understanding. The code establishes the sound principles that we guide all Maybank employees in carrying out their responsibilities. It establishes the guideline for appropriate banking practice. Okay, so for the leverage ratio from Adidas AG company in years 2019 and 2020, it showed that for the debit ratio in years 2019 is 66.88%, better compared with their debit ratio in 2020 is 68.22%. That show the company have lower amount of debit to finance asset. So this is a poor performance for the debit ratio in years 2020 and 2019. So for the debit to equity ratio in years 2020 is 2.89 times, for better compare with their debit to equity in 2019 is 1.63 times. That show the company have higher amount of debit in capital structure. This is a good performance for debit to equity ratio in years 2020. And next, for the time interest earned for Adidas AG company in 2019 is 58.92 times, better compare with their time interest in 2020 is 42.83 times. That show a company not be able meet loan requirement and higher default rates. This was a poor performance for Adidas AG company.
So, Mr. Ihsan, what is your decision about our loan application?
So, Mr. Aiman, for the loan application, based on the leverage ratio, the debit ratio for Adidas AG company is slightly better in 2019 that is in 2020. Because the debit ratio in 2019 is greater than 2020, we accept the loan application from Adidas AG company. As we can see that Adidas AG company has the financial resource to pay off its debts. Finally, we can see that the company is using less debit to finance asset, which is good for loan application. As a result, if anything occur to the company in the future, we will still able to meet our obligation, giving creditor more confidence in the organization. The decision has authorizes the company's loan application based on this rationale.
Alright. Thank you, Mr. Ihsan. We are likely happy because our application of loan has been approved. So next, I want to invite our shareholders, Mr. Alif, to present about the ratio. Right, Mr. Alif, you can continue.
Okay, now I have chance to talk and give opinion. Okay, before this, financial manager Mr. Daniel and Mr. Amirul said that I don't have to worry because the profitability ratio between Adidas and Nike are different. Mean that Adidas perform better than Nike. So what I found that even though that Adidas perform better than Nike, what I found is Adidas drop between 2020 and 2020 and 2019. I found that percentage drop for profitability ratio between these 2 years dropped drastically.
Okay, as we can see, our country was hit by pandemic COVID-19. Not just our country, the entire world. Okay. Also, all sector in this country was down, but Adidas can make profit during in this pandemic, and the Adidas is making a higher profit than our competitor Nike.
Okay, I can accept that excuse. Thank you, Mr. Daniel.
Right, Mr. Alif.
Yes.
So my question is, do you still believe in our company? Because you have to make big money to invest to our company. Do you still believe? You still believe our company, even though you have seen the ratio sometimes may be poor, sometimes may be good. So my question is, do you still believe?
Okay, so for me personally, even the profitability ratio drop drastically, I think yes, I will still become the Adidas AG company shareholder because I see that Adidas AG company has potential to improve their flaws on the company, and Adidas also have a big name in this industry. Besides, the company performance begin to drop as the financial manager says when the outbreak of COVID-19, right?
Yes.
So I don't have any point to argue. So I think yes, I will become the shareholder.
Alright, thank you. Alright, our meeting has come to an end. So I would like to say thank you very much to all of you for joining this Google Meet session and hoping for to see you face to face. And yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome.
I would like to thank you to the CEO because gives me the opportunity to be the financial manager.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. Alright.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Aiman, and I hope your company will be better soon.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you to the shareholder because trusting our explanation. Assalamualaikum.